evening, viewer. Welcome to our Glory Globe TV. Here's breaking news from USA. Incumbent US President Joe Biden, in his third and the final State of the Union address before the 2024 US presidential elections, repeatedly slammed his Republican rival Donald Trump throughout his speech, calling out Trump over his claims of a rigged elections and the January 6 US Capitol insurrection by his followers. Biden remarked, "You can't love the country only when you win." He also touched upon a variety of topics including the Israel-Hamas war, immigration, student loan debt, and more. Also, here are the key takeaways from the Joe Biden's 2024 States of the Union address. Sweden joins NATO. At the beginning of his speech, Biden welcomed Sweden to the NATO bloc and said, "Welcome, welcome, and welcome." He acknowledged Swedish Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson's attendance during the address and said, "Mr. Prime Minister, welcome to NATO, the strongest military alliance the world has never known. Today, we have made NATO stronger than ever," he said. On Putin and Ukraine-Russian war. Reiterating his appeals for military aid to Ukraine, Biden said Russian President Vladimir Putin will not stop at Ukraine, but that Kyiv can stop him. If we stand with Ukraine and provide the weapons it needs to defend itself, that is all Ukraine is asking. They are not asking for American soldiers. Overseas, Putin of Russia is on the march, invading Ukraine and sowing chaos throughout Europe and beyond. If anybody in this room thinks Putin will stop at Ukraine, I assure you he will not, he warned. He asserted that there were no American soldiers at war in Ukraine and I am determined to keep it that way, but said that the assistance Ukraine requires was being blocked by those who want us to walk away from our leadership in the world. It was not that long ago when a Republican President Ronald Reagan thundered, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall." Now my predecessor, a former Republican President, tells Putin, "Do whatever the hell you want." A former American President actually said that, bowing down to a Russian leader. Slamming Trump, he remarked, "It's outrageous, it's dangerous, it's unacceptable." Talking about the crisis abroad, Biden said, "I know the last 5 months have been gut-wrenching for so many people, for the Israeli people, the Palestinian people, and so many here in America." He pledged that he would not rest until all the Hamas hostages were back home. Issuing a sharp directive to Israel's leaders, he told the warring nation to not hold up humanitarian aid to Palestinians for political purposes. Israel also a fundamental responsibility to protect innocent civilians in Gaza. This war has taken a greater toll on innocent civilians than all previous wars in Gaza combined, he said. He also revealed that he would be directing the US military to lead an emergency mission to establish a temporary pier in the Mediterranean on the Gaza coast that can receive large ships carrying food, water, medicine, and temporary shelters. However, he stressed that forces will not be deployed on the ground. No US boots will be on the ground, he said. This temporary pier would enable a massive increase in the amount of humanitarian assistance getting into Gaza every day, but Israel must also do its part, he added. Israel must allow more aid into Gaza and ensure that humanitarian workers are not caught in the crossfire. He warned Israel's leadership that humanitarian assistance cannot be secondary consideration or a bargaining chip. Biden made abortion rights a major focus on the State of the Union address, vowing to reinstate Roe versus Wade if given a Congress that supports the right to choose. Drawing a contrast with the predecessor, he said, "My predecessor came to office determined to see Roe versus Wade overturned. He is the reason it was overturned. In fact, he brags about it. Look at the chaos that has resulted." He did not mention Trump by name. Behind the report, Glory Globe TV, Delhi, Bharat.